if you like excitement, we have the prescription. Take 1 part noise, 2 parts power, and 3 parts speed. Combine it with the 6 best monster trucks in the world, and you have excitement in the name of Monster Truck Challenge. And it's all coming up next from the Centrum in Worcester, Massachusetts, as Monster Truck Challenge is happening on ESPN, the Total Sports Network.
Welcome to another edition of Monster Truck Challenge, featuring the world's best monster trucks in side-by-side competition. Hello again, everybody. I'm Ken Broo, and if you know Worcester, Massachusetts, you know all about the happy face button, shredded wheat, the rickshaw, the curveball, and of course, monster truck racing at the Centrum. Now, if you know all about that, you also know that in 1990, Fred Schaefer won the World Championship behind the wheel of Barefoot. And you know what? Freddie's at it again today. He's our fastest qualifier. As a matter of fact, his qualifying time of 2.23 seconds guarantees Schaefer lane choice as long as he can stay in the thick of things. His first-round opponent is the 91 world champ, Jackie Willman in Taurus. Then it'll be a battle for the championship of North Carolina between Carolina Crusher and Gravedigger. And the final race of the first round pits David Morris and Equalizer against Andy Brass and Bigfoot. Barefoot, Equalizer, and Crusher had faster qualifying times than their first-round opponents, so they're the favorites. What do you say we turn things over now to the voice of Monster Truck Challenge? Here's Joe Lowe.
Thank you, Ken. As we ask the fans to help us out, what am I supposed to say? Oh, yeah, we're on ESPN, the Total Sports Network, with Monster Truck Challenge. Now, Fred Schaefer was our fastest qualifier earlier today with 2.23 seconds. We caught up with Fred and asked him about this track.
The right lane has been the better lane so far.
Why is that?
The dirt on the starting line, the position of the cars might be just a hair difference on one lane to the other.
And Fred Schaefer out of Pontoon Beach, Illinois, our fastest qualifier, gets the lane choice and, of course, chooses that right-hand lane. He's up against the reigning world champion, Jackie Willman and Taurus. Jackie out of Granite City, Illinois. He's in the left-hand lane with Barefoot in the right. They're staged. We're ready to go at the Centrum in Worcester. Side by side. And that one is extremely close. U.S. Hot Rod Association officials have asked to look at the ESPN replay to make a determination. Now, Fred Schaefer had total control of his truck going over the cars. Nice landing and over. Meanwhile, Jackie Willman in the left-hand lane, the blue lane, up and over. A nice run by him. Inches separate the two. And as we take a look at it one more time, you can see our slow-mo cam catches them. As the U.S. Hot Rod Association officials say, the win goes to Jackie Willman and Taurus by 6 inches. So Taurus moves on. Here comes the Carolina Crusher. Gary Porter going up against the Gravedigger. Dennis Anderson's truck out of Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, being piloted by Lyle Hancock. And a lot of Gravedigger fans in the audience tonight. Here's Gary Porter in the Carolina Crusher. Gary hails from Wadesboro, North Carolina, and we call him the lone wolf on the tour. Travels by himself without a crew. Does just fine. They're staged and ready, Digger and Crusher. And Gravedigger goes high. Crusher stays slow and gets the win. Your winner, Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher. And you want to see how it's done? The trick is to stay low. Off the line, side by side, they're even. But this is what happened. The Digger launches, and when you're going high, you're not going far. And that's what happens. Carolina Crusher with almost an entire half truck length lead and a win. The trick is to hit the ramp go over the cars, but don't go skyward. And that's how Gary Porter gets his win here at the Centrum in Worcester. Matchup number 3 between the equalizer, David Morris, out of Springfield, Tennessee, the smiling guy. He goes up against Bob and Marilyn Chandler's Bigfoot. The Bigfoot out of St. Louis, Missouri, being piloted today by Dan Runty. Dan, one of the many drivers on the Bigfoot camp. Here we go. Bigfoot, equalizer, side by side. Bigfoot with a hole shot. But the equalizer comes from behind for the win. David Morris, the guy who has just been phenomenal this season, racks up some more points and yet another win. Bigfoot and the hole shot. Again, they go high in that left-hand lane while the equalizer stays low. And about a quarter truck length lead, David Morris has total control of his truck. The ISO cam picks him up at the beginning of this run. It's up, over, staying low, stretching out, and across the finish line. David Morris wins in the right-hand lane. Taurus won in the left-hand lane. Carolina Crusher won in the right-hand lane. It's not lane choice. It's who gets the hole shot.
Barefoot couldn't get it done. That happens sometimes. But the good news for Fred Schaefer is he is the fast loser in round 1. It means he gets to come back for the second round. And, you know, it's not like it hasn't happened before where a fast loser has gone all the way to the winner's circle. But there's danger ahead for Mr. Schaefer. He has got to deal with the man behind the wheel in this truck, David Morris, and equalizer. We'll see that showdown coming up in just a second when Monster Truck Challenge continues in just a moment. Welcome back to Monster Truck Challenge here on ESPN, the 6 best monster trucks in the world doing battle today. Now, I want to say something right here. Yes, we're back at the Centrum in Worcester, and yes, we have been here before, but this is all new video, all new action that you're seeing on this show. It's only because they love their monster truck racing up at Worcester, Massachusetts. Pack the joint every time the monsters roll into town. Now, with that said, here's how we stack up for round 2 of Monster Truck Challenge. First, we'll see Taurus and Carolina Crusher going at it. Now, the Crusher beat Gravedigger in the first round, and Taurus stopped barefoot in his tracks. Since Fred Schaefer was the best. And, of course, Equalizer stays alive with a win over Bigfoot. Back to the track for second round action. Here's Joe Lowe.
Thank you, Ken. We're all set to go. Round number 2 of Monster Truck Challenge here on ESPN. Jackie Woman and Taurus going up against Gary Porter of the Carolina Crusher. Ask him about this tough competitor, Taurus.
Taurus, he's the champion last year, and he's running really strong this year. And he's had 3 wins so far, and I have, had some bad luck this year and haven't took a win yet. And we're going to be paired up against one another in the next round. I hope I can put them away for the first time this year.
What are you going to do to put him away?
I'm going to have to really cut a real close light, and hopefully I can stall my motor up around 4,000 RPMs and really get a good hole shot. That's where the win will come from, is the hole shot.
Now, Jackie Wellman in Taurus is the world champion, and he's got some thoughts about what it's going to take to win tonight.
Yeah, not having lane choice is definitely a disadvantage because left lane is a lot worse than the right lane. The left one's giving you a lot more air, so it's hard to make time.
You've had pretty good luck against Crusher in the past. How do you think you're going to fare on this one?
I don't know. Carolina Crusher is a tough competitor, and his turn is coming, and I'm just hoping for the best.
So their stage are set to go. It's showtime in Worcester. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. I couldn't tell. We just could not tell, and the U.S. Hot Rod Association officials cannot tell which truck was first over the finish line. Side by side, they enter the ramp, up over the cars. Taurus going high, Carolina Crusher going low. The flash bulbs going off in the arena, and it looks as though Crusher may have done it. Just inches separate the 2 trucks. And as we view the ISO cam with Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher coming off, pulling to the left, The announcement has just been made, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner, Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher. Carolina Crusher wins the race over Taurus. Our next two trucks coming up the stage right now. They are David Morris of the Equalizer and Fred Schaefer and Barefoot. While we're letting those two stage, look at this. Reaction time is what it's all about. 1:33.133 seconds. The reaction time difference between Crusher and Taurus, that's a whole shot, and that's all it takes to win. Fred Schaefer of Barefoot, what are your thoughts?
These photo finishes, this short track here, it seems like every time I lose it's by 2 inches.
What, is there anything you can do, or you got something in mind for this next race?
No, I think I was a little late then. I'm going to have to be on the light, a little better on the light. It's going to be a real close race. Equalizer running real hard, and I think it's going to be another photo finish either way.
David Morris of Equalizer, you've been racking up a lot of wins. What do you attribute that to?
We've made a change in the transmission. Guys up at B&J's been working with us on the transmission. Seems like we got it hooking up pretty good now, and we're having good luck out of it. So we're going to try to take these wins if we get them.
Remember the term, cut a good light, means reaction time. We're set to go. Barefoot, Equalizer, don't blink. And the win goes to Equalizer. A tire length lead for the boy from Springfield, Tennessee. And Fred Schaefer just sits there and shakes his head. He thought he had him on the reaction time. Indeed, it looks as though they started side by side, but look at this. Barefoot launched, went high, about 14 to 15 feet high, while the Equalizer stayed low. And David Morris goes over the finish line first in Worcester. Now, his whole shot played a very important part, but so did his driving. David Morris approached the ramp, goes over, stays low, holds it straight, has a great landing, and David Morris being announced to the crowd as the winner of this matchup with Carolina Crusher. He'll go to the final. David Morris unbuckling, and here's where the reaction time came in. His reaction advantage, 67 thousandths of a second. He won the race by 16 thousandths of a second. Hey, this is exciting. We're having fun. We're dancing our seats in Worcester.
You know, lane choice is so important, particularly inside on a short track. I mean, is the ramp leading up to the cars, is it perfect so the truck doesn't get too much air? And conversely, at the starting line, is there enough packed down dirt so there's enough traction? I mean, when Gary Porter says, I want that lane, or when David Morris says, you're going to take that lane because I want this one, you think they know what they're talking about? You bet they do. It makes a huge difference. We got the finals coming up from the Centrum in Worcester on Monster Truck Challenge in just a moment.
Your seatbelt as the top NASCAR drivers head to the Talladega Super Speedway for the Winston 500. Charging at speeds reaching 200 miles an hour. If you don't concentrate on this speedway, you'll lose control. The Winston 500, Sunday afternoon at 2 Eastern, live on ESPN.
We're almost set for the championship race, but you know what? Morris isn't around. I climbed up in here. Think you'll mind? Hey, I want to show you some things that are up here. First of all, the safety goggles that David wears. Very important. A lot of dust and mud can fly up. And, of course, a fire extinguisher just in case, and it can happen. Of course, down here we got the old pedal, and that's what he puts to the metal when he goes over those cars. He's got to be the quickest, and the only way you can do that is with plenty of speed. And, of course, all around him, a nice steel construction, roll bars to keep them safe just in case this truck overturns. I think he might be coming back. I better get out of here. In fact, just for safety's sake, let's go down to the track for Joe Lowe and the call of this championship race between the Equalizer and Gary Porter and Carolina Crusher.
The crowd's on their feet and ready in Worcester for our final. We're ready for the final, and our two competitors are coming into the arena. They are in the blue lane out of Waynesboro, North Carolina, Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher. Going against him from Springfield, Tennessee, David Morris and the Equalizer. We caught up with Gary Porter before this run and asked him what his strategy was.
Well, I'm going to have to go out there and check the lane out and see where the best place will be to line up on the lane, and I'll just have to go from there. You know, when I pull up there, that's when I'll decide exactly what I'm going to do.
Well, good luck, Gary. Gary Porter in the Carolina Crusher. His competition, David Morris of the Equalizer out of Springfield, Tennessee. And Dave, I know you got some thoughts on this one.
Seems to be a good lane and a bad lane, so I'm hoping that that good lane's going to give me a win here tonight.
And a good luck to young David Morris out of Springfield, Tennessee, the driver of Equalizer. Equalizer Crusher, get staged and ready for this monster final in Worcester, Massachusetts. The Equalizer inches up. David Morris driving for Gary Cook's team out of Tennessee. And the Lone Wolf, Gary Porter in the Carolina Crusher. So many times the bridesmaid this season, but never the bride. He's looking for his first win on the shunt season. They're staged and ready. Here they go. Oh! Crusher comes off, leans to the right, and David Morris gets a win, a decided victory. Reaction time played a part, but the bobble right at the very start, when Gary Porter came too far to the right, it got him off balance, and he spent more time going sideways than he did forward. And David Morris and the Equalizer going 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins in a row here in Worcester. An incredible night of action for the Equalizer out of Springfield, Tennessee, the smiling Southerner David Morris. Up in the truck right now, while David's getting out of his harness and getting ready to come down and be introduced to the crowd, here's the reaction time. 83 thousandths of a second off the line, the reaction time and the win going to Equalizer. Yes, I did say 83 thousandths of a second. He's coming down. He's a smiling guy right now. The Southern boy doing well in Worcester. And this is what happened to Gary Porter. He lost the advantage on the start. Now, you see, he turns to the right. And it just throws the whole thing sideways. He loses a lot of time and a lot of distance right there. And it just wasn't Gary Porter's night in Worcester. David Morris, those wins, they just keep on coming.
We're on a roll right now. I just hope we can stay there. Truck's been running great. Everything's working fine, so what can I say? We won 3 in a row here at Worcester, and we won the weekend before that in Tampa. So, like I said, lane choice here definitely did it, because the left lane was pitching the trucks in there, the air, instead of sending them forward. So I had the good luck going for me there, so everything just contributed to the win.
I'll tell you what, if everybody in Springfield, Tennessee likes to smile as much as hometown hero David Morris, that's a city that smiles from border to border. David Morris has set the motor racing sports world on its ear by winning event after event, and he has done it again this week here on Monster Truck Challenge. We'll be back from the Centrum in Worcester in just a moment.
We'll get back to Worcester, Massachusetts in just a moment. But you know, normally on the United States Hot Rod Association Monster Truck Challenge, we feature the top 6 monster trucks in the world, but there are many, many other monster trucks and great drivers out there that run with the United States Hot Rod Association. Names like Ray Perkowski and the Invader. Now here's the Invader out of Florissant, Missouri. He's in Anaheim, California today, and Ray has a great run going for him. Ray Perkowski, he is what we call one of the up-and-comers. Another one is John Kwasniewski out of Lackawanna, New York, and the Buffalo Tremor. Here's a run he has against Nick Rossi and the Outlaw. Nick out of Pennsauken, New Jersey in the Ford, and the Buffalo Tremor featuring the new high-tech coil-over spring suspension. The Tremor and new suspension seems to be working as he gets a win again in Anaheim. So when you go to one of the U.S. Hot Rod Association shows, you're going to see these trucks, and you're going to know that you're seeing the best of the best. The Tremor off the line. Watch the suspension on this truck. A very forgiving suspension that does not allow for the bounce that we've seen in earlier types of monster trucks, the Leaf spring trucks. So the coilovers seem to work very, very well. This brings us back to Invader and a run he has against Joey Pittman in Tuff-E-Nuff. Again, Anaheim, California, both trucks ready. The Invader and Tuff-E-Nuff. Tuff-E-Nuff has a lot of power problems off the line, and the Invader gets a win. Now, the Invader, of course, one of the up-and-comers in his bid to become one of the top 6 monster trucks in the world. And at U.S. Hot Rod Association Monster Truck Challenge shows everywhere, look for Ray Perkowski and the Invader to be coming your way. This guy is impressive. This guy is a champion. This guy always puts on a good show. Well, like he did in Tampa. Let's go to Tampa Stadium. This is a turning course. Ray Perkowski takes the Invader, pilots around the turn, flat out driving, and look out. Gravity gets the best of him, and he gives the crowd a flip in Tampa. Ray Perkowski and the Invader matching up against John Kwasniewski and the Buffalo Tremor. You're getting a chance to see 2 of the rising stars in the sport of monster truck racing. John Kwasniewski built a brand new truck for this one.
Yeah, it's been a pretty tough competition. Look, we built this brand new truck just for this, and we expect to get in the finals quite a few times with it.
Well, now that you're in the final round, what is it going to take to win?
Well, we're going to go all out, hammer it. That's what it takes. Whatever it takes to win, and we're going to do it.
Well, good luck to you out here.
Thank you very much.
Now, the last time these 2 trucks met was in Tampa Stadium. Let's take you back to that day. Invaders ready. There they go. Side by side. Invader starting to open up the lead around the turn. Watch Ray Perkowski. He is the master of this rear steer. Johnny K tries to turn it on, cannot do it, and the Invader gets the win. Now, that was in Tampa, at Tampa Stadium, but we're in Anaheim now, and this is a different ball game. Tremor and Invader off the line. Tremor gets the hole shot. The Invader plays catch-up. Oh, what a close race. What a close race. We've got to see that one again while United States Hot Rod Association officials make a determination. Who was the winner? Was it Invader or Buffalo Tremor? The U.S. Hot Rod Association has said that Ray Perkowski and the Invader is your winner in Anaheim.
Well, I tell you, I don't know how close it was. You know, all I do is, I try not to look at the other guy, but I knew he was right next to me all the time.
Well, they had to take it to the replay booth and kind of figure out who won it. It was a photo finish, but an incredible race.
Thank you. This is a great way to start the season off.
So there's a look at 2 of the up-and-comers, the Invader and Buffalo Tremor.
Well, we're just about out of time for this edition of Monster Truck Challenge, but congratulations to our champ, the Equalizer, who beat Bigfoot, Barefoot, and the Carolina Crusher. Now, Joe Lowe, you saw this race, you called this race. Was it all a question of lane choice? Is that why Equalizer won? Or was it maybe something else that David Morris had going for him?
Yes, Ken, I do think that lane choice helped Morris. Now, he ran in the blue lane in qualifying, and he realized that that lane was just giving the truck too darn much air. Now, here he is in competition against Bigfoot. He switches over to the yellow lane. You can see he stays low and manages a win there. Up against Barefoot, it's the same thing. He's back in the yellow lane, Barefoot stuck in the blue lane, and David Morris again staying low. He doesn't get launched, and he gets a win. And this impressive victory over Carolina Crusher in our final, David Morris hangs low, hangs tough, and he hangs in there for a win in Worcester.
Joe, thank you very much. And congratulations again to David Morris and Equalizer, the winner today here at the Centrum in Worcester, Massachusetts. For Joe and for Jim Clark and all the gang here on Monster Truck Challenge, I'm Ken Broo. See you down the road.